Guys, welcome back to another math lesson with HeyCare Math and Science. In this video, we'll be learning how to add and subtract decimals, and by the end, hopefully we can all align the numbers and decimal points, be able to add decimals, and finally be able to subtract decimals. So there's a couple of things we need to know before moving on to adding and subtracting decimals, and that is that when adding or subtracting decimals, the decimal points and each of the decimal places must be aligned under one another. Also, the location of the decimal point in the answer is directly in line with the location of each of the decimal points in the question. And finally, once you've aligned the numbers and the decimal point, you can just complete the addition or subtraction like it is a whole number. Yep, so this will make a bit more sense when we're doing a couple of example questions here. So the first step was to make sure that the decimal places and the numbers were all aligned under one another. So let's start with this one on the left, 8.31 plus 5.93. So I'll start by writing 8.31, and we need to make sure that that decimal place is directly aligned right under the one above. So I'll draw that one right there. And then we just write 5.93 here. Once we've done that, we can just add this like it's a normal whole number and just a simple addition. So let's do that. 3 plus 1 gives us 4. 9 plus 3 gives us 12, so we carry the 1. And then 8 plus 5 gives us 13, plus 1 is 14, so let's write that there. And we just make sure the decimal point is once again right below there. Same deal with this one, we need to make sure it is aligned properly. So let's start with the 64.8, and now we've got to write 3.012. 3 is in the ones or units position, and the units position for this one is 4, so we need to write the 3 directly under the 4. Make sure the decimal point is right under there as well, and write the rest of the number like that. And the last number is also only in the units position, so make sure the 5 is aligned with the other units, and write 94 like that. And notice how there's a few empty spaces here. It will just make it easier for us to see and understand if we write extra zeros there. It won't change the number, it's exactly the same thing. Just make it easier to work out. So now once we've done that, once we've aligned it properly, we just proceed like it's a normal addition question. So 2 plus 0 gives us 2. 4 plus 1 plus 0 gives us 5. 9 plus 0 plus 8, that gives us 17. Draw the decimal point directly under, making sure that it's aligned. 5 plus 4 plus 1 gives us 10, plus 3 gives us 13. And then 6 plus 1 gives us 7. So that will be the answer to that question here, 73.752. Alright, so now that we've gone through a couple of example questions, it's your turn to have a go. So pause the video here and give these a go, and we'll go through them once you're ready. Alright, now that you're back, we'll go through these questions. So once again, the first step is to make sure it is all aligned properly. So we'll start by writing 12.52. And we've got to add the next number, make sure the decimal point is aligned, and it starts with the tens position, so make sure the tens is aligned with the tens for that one. So we write 332.85. That all looks aligned properly to me, so we just proceed like it's a normal addition. 5 plus 2 gives us 7. 8 plus 5, that gives us 13. 2 plus 2 plus 1 gives us 5, and 3 plus 1 gives us 4. Make sure the decimal point is aligned right below there. Alright, give yourself a tick if you got that correct, and we'll move on to the next question. So now we've got 4.28 plus 5.9 plus 2.152. So we'll start by writing that first number, 4.28, and we'll align everything according to this number. Now 5 is in the ones, make sure the ones or the units is aligned with that one there. So 5.9, and just add a 0 at the end so it looks a bit nicer. And this one's also starts with the units, so make sure that's aligned. 2.15, make sure you're writing it directly under each time. And we've got another one here, 2.152. So just add zeros to the ones above once again, just to make it look a bit nicer. And everything looks aligned very well here, so let's move on and proceed like it is a normal addition. So 2 plus 0 gives us 2. 8 plus 0 plus 5 gives us 13. 9 plus 1 gives us 10, plus 2 gives us 12, plus 1 gives us 13. Add the decimal point, and 5 plus 4 plus 1, or just 5 plus 5 gives us 10, plus 2 gives us 12. Let's write that there. So the final answer is 12.332. Give yourself a tick once again if you got that correct. Alright, so that's pretty much it for addition. Now let's move on to subtraction. It's pretty much exactly the same thing. Same step, we got to make sure it is aligned. And once you've done that, you can just proceed like it is a normal subtraction question. So let's start with the one on the left. So we have 5.83, and we'll align everything to this number now. So that's also in the units, so just write it directly underneath. Make sure decimal point is aligned, and make sure the rest of the numbers are aligned too. So that looks pretty good. Let's proceed like it's a normal subtraction. 3 minus 2 gives us 1, 8 minus 1 gives us 7, and 5 minus 3 gives us 2. So our final answer is 2.71. Alright, now let's move on to the question on the right, 146.35 minus 79.5. So let's start off by writing down 146.35. And now we have 79.5 that starts in the tens position, so we need to align that to the tens position in this number. So that means the 7 must be written down directly under the 4. So we start here, 79, make sure the decimal point's in line as well, 0.5. And let's just write a 0 at the end so it's a bit easier to work with. Write the subtraction sign, draw the line. 5 minus 0 gives us 5. 3 minus 5, we can't do that without going to negative, so we're going to take 1 from the position to its left. So that means that becomes a 5. We'll carry the 1 over here. 13 minus 5, we can do that. That gives us 8. Now we have 5 minus 9. Once again, that doesn't work. We need to take it from the position to its left again. So that becomes a 3, and that becomes a 15. So 15 minus 9, that gives us 6. And now we have 3 minus 7. Once again, that doesn't work, so we'll take it from here. That gives us 13. 13 minus 7 gives us 6. So our final answer is 66.85. Alright, now once again, pause the video here and have a go at these two questions on your own, and just unpause the video when you're ready to go through them. Alright, so first question on the left, start with 9.48 here, minus 4.16. They have the same number of positions, so let's just write it directly underneath. 8 minus 6 gives us 2, 4 minus 1 gives us 3, and 9 minus 4 gives us 5. Give yourself a tick if you got that correct. Now moving on to the next one, we have 12.294 minus 5.41. It starts with in the units position, so make sure it is aligned with the units position there. So the 5 must be written directly under the 2. So that becomes 5, and make sure you write everything else directly in line with the one above. So 5 decimal points are aligned, 4, 1. And let's just add a 0 here, so it's a bit easier to work with. So 4 minus 0 gives us 4. 9 minus 1 gives us 8. 2 minus 4 we can't do, so we're going to take 1 from the position to its left. That becomes a 1 here, and we have a 12. 12 minus 4 gives us 8. Write the decimal point directly below. 1 minus 5 we can't do that, so we'll look at that as an 11. And 11 minus 5 gives us 6. Once again, give yourself a tick if you have got that correct. Alright, so that brings us to the end of the lesson for addition and subtraction of decimals. Hopefully you guys can all now align the numbers and decimal points when working with decimals, be able to add decimals, and finally be able to subtract decimals. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys online, and please jump on Compass to see what you guys have to do next.
Boom! 2 plus 2 is 4, minus 1, that's 3, quick maths.